Hi. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm trying some things. I'm trying to have my live stream chats up in my OBS studio for the first time ever. And right now I'm looking at the Rumble chat and I'm not seeing anything happening. So I don't know if it's just because of the delay or not. But I'd like for, if anyone's watching, to do a little chat for me uh, to see if my settings work, I guess. Anyway, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm sorry about that. If it's your first time here, you don't know who I am. I am Stephanie Stevenson. I am known as watercolor artiste in social media circles, and I am the artist of midlifeartist.com. And I do Wednesday night live streaming to work on my paintings. It's an accountability measure for myself. Since I do this part-time, I need to make sure I'm always painting every week. I try to do more than just Wednesday nights, but at minimum, I'm here on Wednesday nights. And I'm also here to chat it up with my friends as well, to say hello. And so, okay, I see Frosty on my phone, but I don't see it come through on the chat on my OBS studio. So that tells me it's probably not working. Okay, well, I'll look at it a little later. But anyway, welcome. Um, if you see, I'm wearing a black glove on one hand, but not the other. That is because I was trying to clean my palette knife earlier, and palette knives aren't meant to be like super sharp, but they are if you're not careful. And of course, let's see, me was not careful enough, and I kind of sliced into my finger. And so I've got a Band-Aid and Neosporin on it, but I also, if I'm going to be painting, I'm not left-handed, but still, you never know. You might touch paint, and you don't want the stuff getting into a cut. So I'm playing it safe. Anyway, there, see what I'm doing. But anyway, well, welcome. We're into December, and yeah, this is the first Wednesday of December. So welcome to December and the full headlong rush into, you know, Christmas, which will be here before we know it. So, and I worked on Thanksgiving weekend making my Christmas cards. This is one of my extras that I had. Actually, it's the last one, where I took the watercolor that I made and I used it as a photograph on a piece of postcard. And then I printed on the other side a nice message. And then I decorated with, Christmas stickers and things that, and then when you get it, got a little hook here. You can hang it on your Christmas tree or on your mantle. You could probably see in the background here, over my shoulder, right there. Okay, I'm pointing right near the eye. Behind me is the actual watercolor that I did. Um, Hi, Artisan. Welcome to the chat. Um, but yeah, I was just saying I had cut my finger, so that's why I got a glove on the side. Um, and depending upon how far along I get in this new painting, which I started just a couple of nights ago. So yes, I do paint other than Wednesday nights when I can. Um, but I didn't get far, and the background is still a little wet, even though I used fast drying medium, not as fast as I'd hoped. Maybe I didn't use enough of a ratio. So we'll see. If it starts to get too muddy, I might have to put it aside, and you're going to have to help me put together some more Christmas cards, and I'll show you how I do that. And I do have, for fans of it, palette cam working tonight. Cross your fingers it stays working. But let me see if I can get my watercolor. My little inspiration board back here. I like keeping up artwork. that I've done that helps me feel proud of myself, um, keeps me inspired. This is my palette cam, which is my old phone. But this is my watercolor. You can see how big it is. So you can see how big that is. So this is the watercolor I worked on over the weekend, the Thanksgiving weekend, and my ruler doesn't want to go back in. Okay. And I finished, I used watercolors, Castle watercolors, trying to make sure that my mic stays closer to my range of vocal, because it seems like on the replays of my live streams that my mic doesn't catch my voice as well on the replays. So I'm going to speak a little louder, hopefully enunciate a little better. But anyway, I'm proud of this one. This has tinsel in it. I don't know if you detected the strands of tinsel, but yeah, really liked doing this one. This was fun. I had no stress. I didn't worry about it. I'm like, it's going to come out the way it's going to come out. And yeah, so this is this year's Christmas card. And I've got I don't know what I've got on my gloves, so I'm not going to touch it. But anyway, that's what that is. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. Let's see here. Okay. I don't know why my phone isn't staying on. I'm going to hopefully. Good night, Irene. There we go. I'm having troubles trying to do something new tonight. So if you see me struggle, that's what it is. Anyway, so I'm going to try to work on this. What is this? This is my newest painting. I'm going to turn it so you can see it a little bit. You can see it's in a state of, and it's, you can't see, it goes up another 6 inches. So it's 24 inches by 30 inches. So 24 by 30. So it's a portrait. And this is, I laid in a background to take out the white of the canvas with green and red. It was not meant to be Christmas colors. The reference photo I'm using, okay, is actually a very muted World War II coloring. Um, and the background is going to get painted over anyway. And so I was using it as a way to lay in the composition with subtraction. So what do I mean by subtraction? I don't have it with me, but I took Q-tips when this was wet and I drew with Q-tips. So I subtracted off the paint with lines drawn by Q-tips, and then I came in with a paper towel, not this, paper towel, and I removed, to get this blocked in, including, everything you see is blocked in. And I still have, her face is really messed up here, and that's because it's just getting started. The only thing that actually has paint on it besides the background is here. I took some of my leftover paints on my palette from my other painting and was just kind of seeing if I can paint over the wetness of the background. I did this at least 2 days ago, and it's tacky up here, but still wet on the red. So I think it's the color and the and what have you. So, but anyway, I didn't have her head tilted enough. But this is the perfect time to be making those corrections. So if it starts to get too muddy, I may stop and then you guys can watch me put together a couple of Christmas cards, how I did it. If you want a Christmas card, you gotta let me know, because after tonight or after the night or so, I won't be working on them anymore. I gotta focus back on the next things. So, but yeah, who is this? This is um, Nancy Wake. Um, I wish I had pulled up her information. I'm not going to do that now, but you can look her up. Nancy Wake, Wake. She is the next person, lesser known historical figure that had impacted her generation and her culture. And she fought and killed Nazis, apparently, and was really good at it. In fact, so good that the Gestapo put out a 5 million franc bounty on her head, and she was never caught. And she had a nickname, the White Mouse, I believe, is what her nickname was. So yeah, um, that's that's who I'm drawing, or not drawing, but painting. I'm drawing on the canvas by subtracting out paint, but I'm also now going to try to put some paint on. And I'm going to just do I usually show I decided to print this out but that's kind of the reference photo I'm working from. Um, and I'm going to probably make it an abstract realism background. I tend to like doing those, so we'll see. Um, but she's standing in front of a cafe, or a French cafe or a Paris cafe window. So there's reflection of the street lamps that are shining down on her. The map behind her with X's shows where she struck. She would parachute in. That's why she's wearing a parachute in the source picture. And then, of course, there's the wanted poster from the Gestapo wanting to take her out, kind of thing. Um, so, so yeah, for some reason, I don't know if, oh, there we go. All right, so I thought maybe I'm going to see if the chat's showing up. Let's see if we can go. Okay, so we got that. I'm going to just check and see, refresh. Hey, there it is. Can you guys see on the, all right. So yeah, every now and then I wonder if I can pull that out. I'm typing now. Hi, everyone. This is on my OBS studio that I'm able to do this. Did it work? Hey, it did. Okay, very good. I'm going to check and see if the YouTube chat is up. I'm going to take you guys out there and see if YouTube is up. Okay. Okay. I don't know how I don't know how to interact with the chat with YouTube. Okay. Well, in any case, I can at least see it. Okay. Like the green, huh? Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do. I'm going to start working on the background because the background is actually very dark. So, and we're going to bring her forward by virtue of that. I'm going to take that back out and turn on my camcorder. Okay, there we go. Palette cam right here. You see I don't have paints because, well, I just didn't get that far. So let's see here. Based on this source picture, okay, you see that window that the wanted poster is on is dark. And then she's in front of red brick. Uh, and it's a nighttime photo representationally. So we will get my paints out and see what we can do here. So I'm going to do a dark army green. So we're going to work with that first. We're going to get my phthalo green, although that's really I'll get my trans yellow oxide. Where's the other one? I thought I had a different green. So how's everyone doing tonight? I I did look into trying to do background music, and I think there's a way to do it, but I just couldn't figure it out in time for tonight. Well, shoot, I thought I had another green, but maybe I don't. We'll do lamp black. Burnt sienna. That's a color I'm going to want to use. Cancer, burnt umber, maybe that too. I don't think I'm going to be using white anytime soon. I do have yellow ochre. This is all the oil colors I have. I don't have a ton. But you don't need a ton if you know how to mix them. So, how am I sounding? Does everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me okay? Oh, it's raining where you are. You're in Texas on the coast somewhere, I believe, Artisan. It's been cloudy here, um, and off and on rain. Uh, not a big fan. Not a big fan at all. Let's see here. We will get, I should do a blue in case I need to do some mixing. All right, burnt umber, burnt sienna, trans yellow oxide. Those are all my graying type things. Black will only be used if I absolutely need it. All right, let's see if I can get these down and get us going here. So every morning, figure I'd tell you this while I'm every morning before I get underway for my day job, I watch a YouTube channel called Grace Oasis. They typically have a morning devotion with prayer. That runs about no more than 15 minutes. Um, and it's just really well done. Nice scenery. They got, I think it's an AI voice, but it's very natural sounding. So I wouldn't say it is absolutely because I don't know. But yeah, it's a great little devotional, and it's a good way to start my day. I haven't been very good at setting aside time for that because I'm so busy, and that's not an excuse. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that as an excuse. I'm saying that that's been my reality, and I haven't managed it well. But I I'm trying to make sure that I put more time into pausing the busyness of life, at least in the mornings. I want to try to get it done at night too. They have another channel for nighttime ones. This is trans yellow oxide I'm putting down. It's a uh, great way to kind of tone down the chroma, the vibrancy of some of these colors when you're dealing with muted tones. Um, but if you're struggling like I am struggling with making time for that, that's focused, and it takes just 15 minutes out of your day, and you don't let anything distract you, which is hard. It's funny because I'm sitting there and I have my work computer in front of me, but I pay no attention to it, even though I get notifications of an email, this, that, and the other thing. Um, I find as I'm listening to the devotion and, you know, I'll start thinking about something and then my mind will start to wander. And I'm like, thanks, Artisan. I'm not sure how to fix the echo. I think I've got everything turned down. Anyway, it's this little mic I have, and I don't know how to fix it, so it doesn't. Maybe. Now let's see if that works. I've got a little setting on there. I don't know if that's better or not, or does it even make a difference? I don't know. But gonna get some color here. I think I'm going to add a little bit of yellow ochre to this. And it's going to be hard to see on this palette because I put my cutting mat underneath instead of a paper. This is my secondary palette. My first big palette that I had broke on me. I was moving it out of the way and I just touched something accidentally. It wasn't like I was moving it with force, and it was just enough to crack and ruin the palette. So thankfully I had this secondary backup one. Now see what this looks like. That might be it. We'll see how that looks. I'm gonna get my big brush. Now I'm gonna start laying in dark background here of the window, but I'm not gonna let it be uniform. So, okay. So that worked. So that setting I had on, which looked like it was some sort of, I don't know what that was. I guess I got to pull out the instruction manual of these little wireless mics. But yeah, this is a cutting board mat, which I use for the Christmas cards. Let's see here. I'm going to get some medium Galkid, which is what I've been using. If I can open it. So all this week, this is the first time I'm actually touching artwork since the weekend because I've been spending my time working on preparing my paperwork, my presentation, and the like for my fight with the county for property taxes. I don't know if you've caught my post on True Social or whatever, but the county is in a rush to catch up property tax assessments per the Georgia Department of Revenue, uh, who told the county they have inconsistencies. And according to the tax commissioner, they're raising individuals like myself with severe increases, while commercial businesses are not as bad, or even more so. Um, they're coming down, and that doesn't make a lot of sense. The whole point of attracting business is to help bear the tax burden. Um, and so my property taxes, based on what I've been seeing, they did an initial reassessment in April, May, and then they did an amended reassessment, even more so in August, September. Grand total of 23% higher in 1 year, and they did because they wanted to increase retroactively 2024 and then 2025. And so, yeah, I have to fight that. The escrow of my mortgage payment is just too much. All right, let's see here. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that's kind of the green I want. You see that? All right. I'm going to try to zoom that in, I think. Let's see here. I may have to mix more green. I try not to mix too much paint because then I don't want it wasted. Wait a minute. Let's see if I can make this a little, so you can see it. There we go. You can see how tall it is. And then let's see if I can zoom this in a little bit. There we go. So I'm not working on the face right now because you're supposed to kind of work from the back to the front. So, and I have to stand up because of the glare. And then I'm holding my paintbrush, oop, like this, not like this. I'm getting way more comfortable holding it like this anyway. So, but I'm making sure that my brush strokes show. Um, I'm not afraid to let them show. And I'm using a big brush. So back to, rear to front, big to small, dark to light, that kind of process. But yeah, I'm hoping this will come along. I need more yellow ochre. So now you're mixing more than you need, but at least they're not trying to stretch it to cover something. That's true. Thankfully, though, the medium's not too bad. Getting the medium, I got green here. So, so yeah, I'm trying not to be afraid to let some of these big, bold brush strokes show, not get too tiny with the brush strokes. It's easy to do green over green because if the background isn't dry, it don't matter really because you're mixing green on green. So yeah, if you see me doing this, it's to get away from the glare. So left shoulder, her shoulders go down a little bit. They're not even, they're not like that. They go down a little bit. So I'm not afraid to kind of trying to make sure that her hair comes out too. So I'll eventually be making strands of hair come out, but that's at a more finer level. Is that coming across darker? I feel like maybe I need to do some trans yellow oxide in this. It still seems a little too chromated in its greenness instead of um, like dark army green. Well, her arm is popping out, huh? Thank you. So are you working on anything, Frosty or Artisan? You guys working on any paintings tonight? Or are you just kind of tuning in, watching? It's always nice to know if you guys are painting too and what you guys might be painting. Seems like you're cranking out paintings left and right, Frosty. So, which is great. You are so good at what you do, and Artisan, I'm really impressed that you took up uh, the kind of art you're doing now as opposed to what you were doing before. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with comic book art because, my husband does it and he does a good job with it. And from what you showed today, Art of Zen, um, you were clearly good at it as well. I think it's a little bit of a shame though that you kind of got put out by it, I guess. I don't know if that's the word for it, um, but yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll not worry about her hair, space for her hair, because I'm gonna be painting over this, but her hair is gonna be coming out here. Yeah, see. All right, there is. I might have to come back around to see this because of the glare of the light I have. That's definitely darker, so I'm happier with that. Yep, I'm picking up. You can tell I'm picking the paint back up with the brush because the bright green is kind of popping back out in spots. All right, where else am I gonna work this in? There is a piece of wood down here. Oh, you can't see that because of the camera angle, but under her elbow, and then it's dark again. One of the things I got to do, I don't know if you can see, well, let me back out so you can see. But the the um my it's got a lip here, and so it's harder to get down here, and so a lot of my paintings end up unfinished at the very bottom. So what I'd like to do, excuse me, is get a piece of wood that fits right inside this tray of my easel. And so it lifts the canvas up enough that I don't try to have to trick my brush to get in there. The other thing is there's a deep shadow over here. So, but it's not green. So I don't want green. I think I'm going to do a dark reddish shadow of some kind. Hmm, where's my oh. So yeah, down here is a really dark shadow. It's almost black. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Frosty, about a block. Well, maybe just try something totally different than what you're used to doing, just to kind of break free from that a little bit. And like Ron doesn't typically do paintings, but he's going to eventually do this painting. He's got an idea for, um, and the prospects, intimidates him, but not the first time he'd be painting, but it would be oil because he's never painted with oil. So it's a little daunting. It wouldn't, it'd be a big old fat lie to say it's not daunting. So let's see here. We want to do burnt umber and burnt sienna. See if I can't get a dark red. I can't. dark red. Maybe add a little bit of, well, I don't want to add too much blue. I don't want it to be purple. I want it to be more red than anything else, but like a muted brick red that's really dark. Have you ever tried, Frosty, have you ever tried, I don't recall seeing anything like a portrait or anything in your work, your body of work. Your body of work's mainly landscapes, right? Have you tried maybe just something that'll push you out of your comfort zone? Something to challenge you, um, you know, make you, have to think things out and just kind of give your brain a boost, is what I was just thinking. And of course, that could be a really stupid idea. I don't know. Oh, okay. So you're moving stuff into the spare room. I the spare room I have has to get cleaned out because my son's coming for Christmas. Yay! My youngest son, whose birthday was in November, the same day I did the last time I did Lady Hamilton's um, show. As a matter of fact, let's see here. So here, there's a shadow behind her. So we're going to just get this locked in. Background stuff here, background stuff. Um, but yeah, he's coming. He's going to be driving down. He's decided after the government shutdown and the flights and everything else that he'd rather be in control of his destiny, I guess. And of course, he knows that I drive. When I go up to New Hampshire, I drive. I don't care for uh, flying because I have had such bad experiences. So there's nothing really going on down in this corner. Sorry for I'm hitting my easel ledge here, but you can see already the shadow. So I'm trying to get that. There we go. So you can see again. Well, that would be interesting. Trying a monochromatic uh, portrait. That'd be cool. What are you working on besides moving? What's your next artwork that you're working on, Artisan? I know you probably posted about it, and I can't remember at the moment because it's Work in Progress Wednesday. Let's see here. So let's I'm mixing some of this green in with this brownish color because looks like up here is the edges of bricks that are, so I'm just trying to get those bricks to come out as bricks. That's not bad. Already. Yeah, so what is it that you're working on, Artisan, in terms of artwork when you're not moving stuff in the spare bedroom or the spare room? That would be kind of cool to hear about. Let's see here. Just I want to see if the Rumble chat's showing up. Very nice. The art room I'm in is actually our library. It was our library where we have on that side and on that side shelving for all of our books. We love books. We don't get to read an awful lot. But yeah. All right. Already she's popping forward just in that. That's great. Now I want to lighten up those bricks a little bit because they're too dark. So I'm going to change my brush. There we go. Get that closer to where my voice is projecting. I got to remember to try to enunciate or enunciate, as it were. So that way it comes across clearer on the live stream, especially on the replay. Eventually, I'm going to have to get a mic, I guess. That's better than this. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a ton of money, so what I have is what I have. It seems to work enough. I don't like to say good enough. I'd like to try to get something that's decent, but what can you do? All right, so I'm retiring this brush to pick up a smaller brush. I have to say this one, this filbert. I like the black bristles and stuff. And this is by Catalyst. Catalyst by Princeton. A polytip bristle, number 4, filbert, if you're interested. All right, so now I want to kind of look at this and see what these bricks are doing. So hopefully I won't need a palette check for this. But these are definitely lighter in tone than that background. So I've got to remember that. Let's see here. So we will take this burnt sienna with a little bit of that. Let's see how that works. Make it a brown, although really is more red. Well, is it more red? Not really. When it's a muted overall over the whole entire composition. I'm gonna check and see if the YouTube chat is showing. All right, I don't see anything there. Okay, no worries. Okay, let's see what this brownish color I'm doing. Can you see? Okay. I wonder if I can get that lower. There we go. All right. A little bit of medium. Let's see what this does. Yeah, of course. I'm not seeing it on the YouTube chat. Hold on. I'm going to hide the mobile one. Yeah, see, it's not coming up. Let me do refresh. Interact. Nope. Yeah, it's something I'm doing probably, Frosty, on my side. It's not working. The Rumble chat's working, but not and it's probably one of my settings. So I guess I'll have to continue to work on that. Gonna have to work on that. Oh, that green really polluted my safflower oil. So that's okay though. I don't know. Probably can't see that because it's so tiny. All right, well, I'm going to get it brown for sure. Yeah, no, so I'm not seeing it on my OBS studio. So, and I don't have it open. I don't have the YouTube open on any other devices because I was trying to do it um, on the OBS studio. So even though I have it added to my studio space, for some reason it's not working. So, and I'm not sure why. Another learning curve I'll have to go through. Huh. Okay. I wonder why that would be. I wonder, let me go to my YouTube and just see if it's telling me that there's a setting I need to hit. I don't know. Let's see. New channel. Join my own live stream here. Okay, I see Crazy Bears. Can you see this? I'm chiming in over here on YouTube. All right, so I see it on my live stream. But when it comes to okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So Crazy Bears showed up. You see it on my screen on the live stream? So yeah. Yeah, I can see it. So I don't know why I can't see yours, Frosty. Are you subscribed to my channel? I just realized that my volume is on the laptop. There we go. That might be one of the reasons why. Huh. So Crazy Bear shows up, but I don't see yours, Frosty, on the YouTube chat. But I know the Rumble chat's working. So yeah. All right. Well, we'll keep trying. I appreciate everyone's help and patience. So yeah, these bricks are definitely lighter in tone than the background, and I'm definitely too dark on these, but that's okay because you go dark to light anyway. And also my red background is still wet, so it's mixing. So mixing. So I need to lighten this up. I don't want to use white because I'm afraid it's going to go pastel on me. I don't want it to do that. All right. I'll put a little bit of white down. I'm always using white on stuff, so you will add a little white and see what happens. Let's see if I can brighten up these bricks a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. If I had to add more, this is more brown than red. So you know this is probably going to mix on the canvas anyway because it's all wet. Alla prima, as they say. Can you see? Okay. Let's see what happens when I do this. Yeah, yeah. Everything we're doing, honey, is one continuous learning experience. Oh, that's better. You see that? Oh, you can't see that. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'll tilt it up so you can see what I'm working on with this brick. Again, this is alla prima. Which means wet on wet. Wet paint to wet paint. All right, I think I'm as zoomed in as I can be. I'll show you these bricks. Let's see what this looks like here. Oh, you can probably hear my brush strokes now. Oh, excuse me. Because these these bricks really aren't as dark against that dark background as they're showing up here. So, and again, this is wet paint on wet paint. So at some point I'll probably have to wait for this to dry to make some more fine-tuned brickwork here. Yeah, yeah, well, should have seen me doing that earlier when I was trying to set up for the live stream, but let's see here. And now you can see, now I'm going to go in and subtract out some of that where the grout is. I'm going to use, what am I using? I'm going to use a paper towel. I'm going to use a paper towel, wrap it around my finger, and I'm going to subtract out some of this paint. Just taking off some of the paint in an uneven way. So it looks like it's uneven, worn bricks. Getting paint on my fingers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, baby. So yeah, so sometimes when you're doing this alla prima style, you can remove some of the paint for different effects. I know it seems kind of counterintuitive, but also it's also non-exact. So you can get jagged edges because bricks aren't perfect. Um, they got blemishes. And her hair is right where the grout line of this bottom brick is. Of course, I'm going to be coming in with her hair later. I'm not worried about mucking that up at this point. So right there, I've got brick. Much better than what it looked like. Yeah, my mom ends up calling me. So, yeah. But yeah, you can see now that that brick is coming forward. I'm going to back it back up now so you can see. And I got to do something similar to this brick to get that to be cohesive. Not bad. Not bad at all. So yeah, this is my next one in the lesser known historical figures. Nancy Wake. I do have I've been doing a lot of women in that series, and that's by accident. I mean, I happened to come across candidates for that category, and they happen to be women. But I do have in my list a couple of guys, so they will be coming up on that in the next couple of paintings. So yeah. You know what? She's got a big old shadow here from her hair. I should get that shadow in. All right, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some bricks done here, and then I can paint over. Oop. Oh yeah, tell me about the old man, because I don't think I've read up on that. What what's the deal with the old man? Share with the class, Frosty. Share with the class. This is really dark. Not that dark. Yeah, this background is still wet, so oh man. Well, that's uh, I did not know that about the husband. That's too bad. I mean, it goes with the territory, I guess, of fighting a war, that there's that inherent danger. But the fact that she was so successful in her campaign to do her part um, is, you know, in that time frame, in World War II time frame, um, just amazing, really. Um, as it goes down, it's going to be a little darker. But this is coming along. She's really kind of come forward just in the little that I've done. I'll define that later. This is a map here. Yeah, my excuse me, my safflower oil that I, supposed to be able to use to clean my brushes. It's so saturated with the green that I started off with. It's definitely not good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some shadow behind her hair. So what you're going to see here is this is all shadow right here behind her hair. So I'm going to kind of get that put in as well. Ties into the shadow under her cheek or jawbone. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that put in. Blocking it in, as they say. Yeah, she was in the resistance. Yeah, quite a story is right. And I had heard of her in my initial search for um, lesser known historical figures to paint, people that are inspiring. Um, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do her, but then, like I said, it was when I read a little bit more about her story, I'm like, well, holy Toledo, Batman, you know, uh, that's quite impressive. So I said, why not? And I want the overall feeling of this painting to be muted. Right now, it's very bright with the background, and again, it's meant to get painted over. So um, she's got some areas of hair that are going to be. I don't really want to get too involved in doing hair just yet, but this is actually more rounded right down. So there we go. I'm rounding it out. And then the underside of this map is dark because it's casting a shadow. So I'm not worried about too much yet. But right now, she's really, you can see that's kind of coming through with the brick being done the way it is. Let's see here. Trying to subtract out some of the grout lines again. That was quite a show that Lady Hamilton put on the other night for her 500th show. That was nice. It was a great show. I loved seeing all the work. Although I was in the background, I was watching it on my TV, and I started off in the chat, but I was actually working on my property tax appeal, and I was in my recliner, but I wasn't doing Arch. I was working on trying to get my report organized. Um, but yeah, that brickwork is just popping, isn't it? Yeah, I don't really want to work on her just yet. I kind of want to get this stuff blocked in, like this poster is bright, but it's on the window. And is this still wet? It's tacky. I think I'm going to wait for that to dry before I try to put any white on that, because it's just going to make it light green because it's still wet right there. So we'll leave that alone. Let's see, where else can I put some dark areas here? So she's got dark area. Got a hair that comes over. Trying to get just some of the shapes of her hair. Thank you, Frosty. I think I'm making some good headway here. Yeah, I gotta get some of this worked out. Yeah. She's got a lot of dark here on her parachute here, but these are more finer details, so I'm gonna wait to do those. I think that's, what am I at? 10 past 9? All right. I think I'm going to set this aside because it's pretty saturated right now. Let me see if I can turn this so you can see it better, full on view. There, without a glare. But yeah, she's starting to really pop here. The darkness here. Still got to work on it. This is actually a reflection of a light post, so there's got to be a dark um, light post there. Wow. tank mechanic. He went in on D-Day. Did he go ashore with all those at Normandy, or did he go? Was he dropped in? Artisan. I'm just curious. But yeah, so there's all kinds of dark areas in her, but I don't want to touch her yet until I can work this background. But the brickwork really helps kind of set her in place. Even so, I have to say that's not too bad. I feel pretty good about it. I know this looks all wonky because it's just a wonky green, but it's serving its purpose. I'm not going right up against a white canvas, and I'm seeing the colors better. And I don't have to do a palette check, at least not yet. But that's how she's looking. And when I blocked her head in, she's got more of a tilt to her head in the reference photo, and I didn't have her as tilted. So I have to make sure that she is tilted more. So I'm going to work on her when it's a little bit more tacky or dry, but I wanted to keep with these bigger brushes, you know, which I did, so I didn't get too detailed. But already just blocking those in is pretty good. Killing Patton. Wow. I hadn't heard of that book. All right, let's see if I can't bring forward the Christmas cards real quick, because I'm not going to keep you beyond 9:30. So I just don't do that. It is what it is. But I'm okay with working on this painting. I think it's going to come along great once I get things really blocked in the way they're supposed to. So pretty happy about that. So yeah, actually, you can see there's no paper backing on this palette. And I didn't have to use my stick. The stick that, you hold up so you can have a steadier hand. Don't have to use that just yet. I'm not doing details just yet. All right. All my brushes that I didn't use, but just in case I needed them, they were right there. All right. Let's see here. I think I can take off this glove since I'm not working in the paints anymore. But yeah, just so you see what I do, I'm going to just show you real quick what I do with these. I'm going to bring this up a little bit and over. See if I can turn it. Let's see here. There we go. All right. I'll just show you real quick what I do with these. And again, if you're on YouTube and I'm not seeing your chat, I'm sorry. I thought I had it all figured out, and I don't. I'm just going to double check. There's my Rumble chat. Let's see. Yeah, nothing ever showed up really on the YouTube. That's okay though. We will get it figured out. Quarter. and then mobile. Let me see if I can show you the mobile and a little bit bigger. Okay. Hmm. Trying to see if I can find a way to, you can see it. There we go. So yeah, there's my reference photo. And now this is the last card I had. And Art of Zen, your card is in the mail. Everyone got, um, everyone who sent me an address is getting a card. Frosty, did you send me an address? Because I don't think you did. If you want a Christmas card, send me your address in a private message. I've got 4 more photographs that I printed of my watercolor. And what I do is I take cardstock and I cut this into 2 5x7s. And then when I have the 5x7s, I use a glue stick and I lay it down centered like so, like so. And then I have these Christmas tapes that I like to use. Oops, throwing them all around. That's not helpful. But, you know, Christmas tapes. Oop, where am I going? The little Christmas trees there. Little Merry Christmas with an elf. I got glittery looking one. Ron loves the glitter. And a nice shiny green. Camera can't focus. And then this is one of my favorites, and you can see that it's almost gone. It's the Christmas lights one. I like to put that out, but it's almost gone. And I haven't been able to find another tube of these, but I usually use those, and I'll put them across the edges here. I also have, now this is the other crafty part. I haven't used these in this year's, but I used them in previous years. I did watercolors, you know, just watercolor, you know, abstract watercolor washes on watercolor paper, and then I cut out circles that were the shape of ornaments or of trees, you know, just circles and triangles. And in previous years, I would put a triangle down, and I'd have whatever painted, like the gnome or a snowman or whatever. I also use these scraps and use a hole punch to do little circles for like little ornaments inside a tree. So these turn out to be good little, so don't throw away your scraps. They could be good for something crafty. Okay. You can see I did some of that with, you can see the hole punches. So, and I got a whole bunch of these trees. I didn't use all of them that I made. So I could layer these. See that? Make a winter scene with those. It was just kind of fun little crafty thing. It's fun to do. So you keep your scraps, especially your watercolor scraps, especially if you've got the iridescent paints like I do. The Karataki, I can't say it, Karataki paints. But yeah, I take the thing, I get it situated and glued down. I've got these Merry Christmas stickers, and I'll lay them down. I've got all kinds of stickers, you know, that I use to decorate poinsettias, stars. I got some nice uh, folksy stickers, and I just kind of go to town and decorate them. Um, and each one's different. Each one's one of a kind, and it's fun, stress free. So I'll be making at least 4 more. So, so yeah. Lose my glitter. Yes, yeah. Crazy Bear loves the glitter. So, but in any case, that's what I'll be doing. I think I'll do that for the rest of the night. And then what I do is when I'm done decorating the 5x7, I put a hole punch in the corner and I take ribbon. It's very see-through ribbon, and I make a little tie to it just like this one. And that way you can hang the card on your Christmas tree. So yeah, there's this one I got. It's already decorated. It's got the Merry Christmas with a ornament sticker. Got some of this green tape to it. It's got some other tape to it. It's got a poinsettia, one of the nice folksy things. I got some stickers on the back here, Be Jolly, and then my printed saying. And then, of course, we sign it, including Jackpot and Mama Cat. So, yeah. So if you artisan, you look for yours in the mail. It's already on its way. And Frosty, if you and Frosty Princess want one, send me your snail mail address, and I'll send you one. It'll be one of the ones that I make tonight, actually. So in any case, there you have it, boys and girls. Uh, so yeah, quite fun to do. Is he still griping around about glitter? uh, oh my gosh, I love it. He really does love glitter. And then I get him to sign the the cards, and he's got to avoid it. I love you, honey. You are a trip and a half. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I tell Frosty Princess, I say hello, Frosty, and I'm sure Nancy would have joined if she wasn't already otherwise engaged. And we know it's Lady Hamilton's date night. So I hope that those two are enjoying their time together. They don't have a lot of time together, so they do need to keep it. And so yeah, I'm gonna plan to be back here again next Wednesday. Uh, Probably still working on this one. I doubt I'll finish this one before next Wednesday. Um, I'm just not that fast. And tomorrow night, I've got to finish preparing for my property tax assessment fight for Friday morning. I go at Friday morning to the county courthouse, sign in at 8:30, and the hearings start at 9. And you only get like 15 minutes. So if you're a praying person, I would appreciate prayers for success. I'm not just looking to freeze my property tax assessment, and I'm actually going to go for a full faith step of reducing my assessment. And I think I've got good standing to do that. So this is something I've never done before, so I would appreciate prayers. And again, Friday morning at 9, I'm off the whole morning, and then I come back home and work for the afternoon in my day job. And I don't know if I'll find out that day or if it's going to take some time before they make a decision. I don't know, but I feel like I've made a good stand with what I've got pulled together. So, and once I do that, it's in God's hands. I'm going to let it go and pray for success at that point and get back to my artwork. So I'll be working that. And I actually still have my dancer's painting to finish, but it's actually better. You saw the pictures I posted earlier in the week of that troublesome corner actually starting to really take shape. Um, I keep looking over there because that's where the painting is. Um, so yeah, in any case, that should be done by next Wednesday. I hope. Now, after Friday, I'm going to be back to dedicating time to doing more artwork. So, everyone, thanks again for joining. Um, Press like, subscribe, hit the bell button, whatever that is. Oh, the notification bell button. That tells you how much I know. And share. And I appreciate you joining me and holding me accountable to my goals. And you guys are great. And I really appreciate it. So you guys have a great night. Stay dry, artisan. Stay warm, frosty princess and frosty pimpin' on. And I'll see you guys in the Truth Social corner. And next week, maybe I'll see you when you join again. So have a good night. Love you guys. Bye.